God, my microphone looks like something the cat threw up.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. Whoops.
You kind of look like something.
Shut up. I know I do.
No offense.
It's fine. I'm going to take this.
How come you're so...
Look at this. This is gross.
I don't hear myself. Oh, I know why.
Did someone like dust with it? Oh, there. I hear you now.
Yeah.
I think someone mistook this microphone for a duster or something. It's covered in dust bunnies and hair.
Yeah, I picked it up off the floor and put it on there for you. No, just kidding.
I was going to say, yes, you probably did.
I did actually put it on the mic, but it wasn't on the floor.
Looks like it was on the floor.
Well, it probably was this weekend. They probably stepped on it and just like ground it in with the dirt.
Yes, actually disgusting.
Yeah, so take it off if you want to.
No, it's okay.
You can pull it off.
It's okay. I just have a low tolerance for disgusting microphones right now.
Uh-huh. Why?
I have a low tolerance for everything. I got while I was sick, and it probably was just the cocktail of drugs, but while I was sick, I got really mad at like everybody for everything.
Did you get mad at me?
No, you weren't around. I would have probably if you were around. I was like John, who's like super polite person, like for a man. I just went off on him. I said he was disgusting when he eats, and I didn't want to look at him anymore when he was chewing. I just like got really upset at how gross he was eating.
I think noises kind of affect you when you're feeling sick.
Noises. It was just like he was just like.
It was that it sounded different. I couldn't stand it.
I don't like the way he eats sometimes. Like at the end of a meal, he takes the rest of the leftovers and eats them usually, because that's like what usually the house man does. I
used to do it.
Anyway.
I'm not the house man.
But he eats them in weird ways. Like what was left over was like some... I don't know. He like put like butter on an English muffin and put an avocado and some like... it was just like a weird mixture of stuff. And I was like, don't put that in your mouth. It's gross. And he just ate it. And I don't know. I just got really mad about that.
And you felt really justified.
I did. Mm-hmm. I did. And then sometimes he gets, because he has allergies, sometimes he gets this white goop in the corner of his eye. And I got really angry with him for having white goop in the corner of his eye. Yeah, I was like, that's disgusting. You look like an old man. Just get that white goop out of your eye right now.
My cat gets that. I get really upset with her too.
Yeah, I was completely intolerant to everything and anything. Like my kids were like clicking their fingers in the back of the car, and I was super furious. I was like, stop it. It was bad. It was really bad. So I guess the moral of the story is just don't do drugs.
Yeah. Right.
If you can help it.
Okay. I won't.
Okay.
You can count on me not to do drugs. It's one thing I don't do.
It's good that I don't do drugs because they don't seem to suit me well.
Yeah. I mean, if they wheeled me into the hospital and I was dying, I might just succumb. If they said, oh, take this, I would probably do it.
Yeah, that's why I did it. But
yeah,
I should have just died. It was probably...
No, I don't think so.
Well, I don't think that the things that they gave me saved me.
It was bad enough. It was bad enough to have to deal with the panic of you not being here last week.
I'm sorry.
Right? You knew I was going to go through panic, but you were sick, so it's okay. I mean, it makes me a better person to have to go through that whole cycle of fear and then get your act together, and then somebody saves you in the end. Like Courtney offered to do the show, which was incredible.
So
I was all
set.
Did
she do the show?
I was set to do it with Courtney, and then Todd came at the last minute and said he'd run another show.
Oh, sweet.
And I had a big session that afternoon with Patrick, came to do fiddle parts.
Shoot, and I was going to bring clothes for his child, but
I just thought, I could use the extra time to kind of get ready for Patrick, so I ditched the show, and we're back. It just took a week, and we're back. We're back stronger than ever. You really look good. You look cleared out, like those drugs killed so much stuff in you.
No.
That it's good.
They did kill stuff. Like, I don't think I'm right. The doctor said that it would go into the nucleus of my cells and blast something apart, which I don't really like the idea of anything going into the nucleuses of my cells.
That's super scientific.
I didn't like the doctor.
Somebody told me something about atoms last week.
He was wearing Carhartts. I just don't feel okay with a doctor wearing Carhartts.
Oh, come on. You do. It wasn't that. It wasn't the Carhartts.
It wasn't the Carhartts. There was lots of other reasons why I didn't like
him. If he'd said nice things that agreed with you, you would like the Carhartts. You would think that's the perfect doctor.
I personally didn't even know they made Carhartts that big either.
How big? Like, was he tall or fat?
Huge. Hugely fat.
He was?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So...
Carhartts are great that way.
Right, but you know what? They can't be that comfortable if you're very, very, very overweight. I always feel a little nervous when a doctor is really unhealthily overweight. Like, I don't really care if the rest of us are overweight.
Yeah, but
we're not doctors.
People do just have, chemical issues that they can't.
I know, but I kind of don't think he did.
Well, you don't know.
I think that they don't. I think sometimes doctors don't practice what they preach, and they aren't very healthy.
Sometimes. That might be true.
Anyway.
Listen to that truck.
Is that a truck?
That's a truck. See, I can see
really
it.
Annoying. It kind of almost... Yeah, I do see it. It kind of looks like spring down here. It's like winter hell still at my house. Every single day we get like another inch of snow.
Yeah, it's so much winter at my house. I came down into Chelsea and I was like, wow, spring's actually happening. It kind of lifted my spirits. And then I got behind this car and I started to, because I was a little bit late, so I'm looking at the car and I had a choice. It's like a crossroads you come to. Like, you're either going to start to, your blood pressure is going to start to go and you're going to start to get irritated. Yeah. Or you can start talking to the people. Like, pretend that or talk to the car. Just say, was a Pilot, P-O-L-T. I don't know what kind of car that is, Pilot.
It's a Honda.
A Honda. So it was a Pilot. I just said, Pilot, I have to get to my radio show. Pilot, listen to me. I have to get to my radio show. Please hurry up a little bit, Pilot. And it just kept talking to the car, and it eventually sped up. So I think that works. I would recommend that approach.
Coming off here, it was one of those Waldorf mommies. They all have pilots. Was it purple? No. They're all purple pilots.
No, it was kind of mud colored.
Oh, it's hard to tell what color anything is right now.
I don't notice anything like that. I don't know. Like, if you cut your mustache off, I wouldn't notice. Honestly, I wouldn't.
What if I grew one in the first place?
Oh, possibly, I might notice that.
All right.
But so the first sign of spring at my house is when an electric car can get up the road. Then I know it's spring.
Wow.
And that actually happened a couple weeks ago.
It's not spring, though.
No.
I don't think I don't think you can use this gauge this year. I feel really bad for the robins. They're just like pounding their little beaks into frozen ground and looking miserable.
Oh, well, they're God's creatures. They'll just deal like we do.
I am not dealing anymore.
We all have to deal.
And I am a generally happy little person. Sorry, no, I'm not. But sometimes I am.
I was considering that. I was thinking maybe that's true. That is true sometimes.
It's supposed to be.
You look
true.
I don't know. Generally, it's fun to look at you. And
our barn is stinky. Everything is gross and nasty because everything has been in there too long. Like, the lambs have been in their barn too long. They need to go outside now, but they can't. And the horse stalls they're gross. Everything is gross.
Frozen.
It's so frozen pooped.
Yeah.
And I can't, and I've been sick too, so I haven't even been able to clean it in like forever. And everything is nasty. It's like we're living in some sort of filth winter nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah. And we're so broke. I can't even explain it. We've gone through so much more heating oil and stuff than we ran out of our wood like months and months and months ago, and we did not budget to add extra heating oil, but there it is.
I got the same deal. I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring up the whole issue of,
because the creatures are usually kind of out starting to browse by now, but no.
Yeah. What is it with money?
God, I hate it.
Because money is not happiness.
It is when you're poor.
No, it is not. Because if you had a lot of money, you would not be happy.
I would not be stressed out, and that would be happy to me.
There's so many ways to be stressed out.
I would pay off my credit card bill. I would make sure that my creatures are fed, and my children, and my...
Okay.
And our car wasn't broken.
Then what?
We have like maybe one functioning transmission between our two cars at this moment.
Okay, but what would you do if you had money?
I wouldn't do anything different. I would just pay my bills.
What would you do? Yes, you would do something different.
That's all.
Because you spend so much time, and I do too. So we both do this, being worried about
I would just be not worried anymore.
And I just feel like we'd probably worry about something else.
I mean, I would worry about
I do worry about other stuff. I worry about everything I can. I have
worry about the world.
We have options. We have lots and lots of options.
But I'd be less worried about myself and my own family.
Oh, guess what? You know that postmistress?
Yeah.
Who shut my box down because I didn't pay the late fee?
Yeah.
Well, ever since that happened,
yeah,
she's gone missing from the post office.
Did you kill her?
I feel like I did something.
You pushed her over the edge finally by not paying your late fee.
I think it was her last straw. Like, she was so mad at the public that, I just happened to be there at sort of the wrong person, or the right person at the wrong time.
Post offices that make people crazy.
It does. And I think she just tipped over the edge, and she shut my box, and then she disappeared.
Oh, Kristina, that's really deep, and
I just feel bad. I feel terrifying. Responsible.
Wow. We got our taxes done, and we mailed them a day late. And you think we're going to go to jail?
No, you can have a day late.
But we saw that the IRS website crashed from something.
Oh, wow.
So they extended the deadline. So even though I was sure we were going to go to jail, I don't think we are anymore. So there's one less thing to worry about.
That's great. We both did this year. We got them done.
I didn't do them. John did them. I was gone. I was in another dimension while it was happening.
Yeah, I went up to Montpelier last Monday to get my taxes and sign them and write the check because I owed money. And
luckily, we didn't make any money, so we barely owed any money, and that was kind of good.
Well, you know what pushed me over the edge was the Kickstarter, because we did a Kickstarter, and that money gets considered as income. Yeah. People are donating to you for a project, it still becomes income. So that was an extra $5,000 right there, even though it all went out the door in expenses. I don't quite get that, but
it's all just ridiculous.
Yeah. So I was up there on Monday, and what else did I do?
Do you have to do 10,000 little extra Schedule C's?
I don't do it. My accountant does it. Yes.
God, you have an accountant. That's right.
Of course I do. I have a million.
We ran our printer out of friggin' ink because we had to print off so many. We have so many little odd jobs, and you have to have a separate Schedule C for all of them. And then we ran the printer out of ink, and that was crappy. I really don't think taxes should be a thing anymore. What?
Yeah.
What are we gaining?
Yeah.
From this?
Yeah. Guess what? The average American taxpayer pays $3,000 that goes towards the military.
Yeah, and I still think if you have to pay taxes, that you should have a 3 different area checkbox where you want your taxes to go to.
Yeah, because that's just wrong.
I don't want to give my money to the military.
And you know how much goes to environmental issues?
Yeah, none.
$39, as opposed to $3,000 for the military.
Oh, wow.
That's how it's allocated now, and that's where it's getting pretty serious. We have to have a rebellion.
I just don't understand. I mean, it's not like the people are running the country anymore.
No.
I mean, I thought that was the point of this country.
No, the cyborgs.
I guess I don't really know. I wasn't here when the country's point was declared.
What do you mean?
What's the point? What's the point? What's our country's
what's the point of
mission statement? Freedom and something? I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Are you talking about the Declaration of Independence? Or are you talking
I don't know.
Are you talking about the Mohawk
what's our
Constitution of the Mohawk Nation of the Iroquois?
That would be probably more accurate, but I mean that I don't know. I think we don't have, our country probably doesn't have a point, a theme anymore. It's been messed up recently.
We got it. Yeah.
Whatever it says, in big letters somewhere, when you get here, Ellis Island, wherever. Yeah. You don't actually come to Ellis Island anymore, do you? No. Okay, anyway, sorry. I lost a few years while I was sick.
Yeah, I guess so.
Several hundred.
Yeah. I'm curious where you're going with this, but I'm just saying,
what's the point of the country
the country?
It's supposed to be run by the people, right?
Yes.
There's some words about by the people.
Right.
Yeah, so that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah. No, I think the extraterrestrials have interbred with humans, and those are the people running the country. So if you had, we're having issues with the strange behavior of the people at the top, you can just bet that they're not fully human.
Right.
Yeah. So just, I mean, there's simple explanations for this that we just don't think about because they seem too outlandish. But I think it's time to sort of start pulling those things out of our back pocket and considering that they might be true.
Okay.
So just,
I'm up for anything.
Yeah. That's why we're here. We're here to talk about this really good stuff.
We should introduce the show before we get any further into mania.
Okay. Yeah. Do it, because you missed a week, so you have to say what we are.
What we are. What our mission statement is.
Yeah.
Do we have a mission statement?
Let's make one now. Can we?
It's a mission statement anyway. What a dumb.
We are here to spread not only misinformation, although that's a big part of what we do, but we're here to spread a certain kind of energetic vibration. Right?
Right. Kristina's very astrologic. Is that a word?
Astrologize?
Chick. Astrologic.
She's astrologizing again.
And I'm not.
Sort of like apologizing for the planet with using astrology.
You guys are listening to 11th Hour Radio with Kristina Stykos and Emily Howe. And I totally didn't know what my name was this last week. It was really weird. I could not think of my own name.
Wow.
That's how sick I was. Anyway, this is WFVRLP 96.5. Is that right? 96.5.
You always say that. You can't say 96.5 without saying, is that right?
I know. Well, the weird thing is, we're the same. That's the same as you listen to the Red Sox. That's WEDV's call.
DEV.
WED. Whatever. I don't know stupid numbers of stupid radio stations.
I love that. DEV. That's not our station. Don't misinform.
No, I know, but
go ahead and
when you're out on the car and you want to listen to the Red Sox, you put it on 96.5. And it's not this. It's something else.
Exactly. It's when you go up past my house and you go back into Washington, it will switch over
to
from
being Red Sox.
Royalton Radio to WDEV. So it does make that switch over the hump of Washington Heights.
Why couldn't we have gotten a slightly different... That's just too much of a coincidence around here because everyone listens to WED.
I just wouldn't be complaining.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm questioning.
And I am not.
Why we all have to have the same exact radio station.
I am not all about astrology. It's not all about astrology just because you think about things that are invisible.
You just said aliens.
Well, I think planets.
Interbred.
Okay, so planets have something to do with astrology, and aliens potentially have something to do with planets. But it does not mean...
I don't think they do. I don't think the aliens have anything to do with the planets.
Well, where did they come from?
Well, I don't think they come from any planets that we know of. All the planets that we know of are dead. They've sent little probes out, and they're just hot and sticky places.
Yeah, I'm starting to question all that. There's a secret space program, Do
you think people really went to the moon? Isn't it weird that we could question that now?
It's time to question everything, frankly.
Yeah, but I don't like that everybody questions everything all of a sudden. Everyone's just fake news about everything.
It's a time
It's
period.
annoying to me. I'm just can you just I don't know.
It's a good reassessment.
It's
weird. Like when you take a deck of cards and you throw it up in the air, they land all over your bedroom.
Yeah.
That's called 52 pickup. I used to play that. Pickup. We used to play that. Let's do it here.
No, you can pick it up yourself.
It's
you have to be really careful because I'm not quite cranky anymore, but I'm on the verge of
if I talk about astrology anymore, I'm in trouble. Okay, so I'm going to switch. I'll switch to another topic.
Right. Did I finish introducing? I can't remember. I said 11th Hour Radio.
You didn't say our names.
I did because I said I couldn't remember my own name.
Oh, okay.
But I think I did say it. That my name was Emily, which I think it is, and that yours is Kristina. I can remember your name easier than mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't thank the sponsors and underwriters.
Okay. And we have extra ones, which will lead me to a very interesting segment. So go ahead and see if you can remember the extra sponsors.
Oh my God.
That came, the new ones. Well one's Todd's business.
I can do the old ones.
One's the painting business.
But I can't think of what it's called.
What's Todd's business?
It's probably Green Mountain something.
No. Todd's painting business.
Can I just say
Todd's painting business?
The train is coming early.
Oh, wow. No, it's not early. It's probably
we're
just langering.
Oh, langer. I like that word.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you, sponsors who don't even know that you're our sponsors.
Well, I think Todd knows he's our sponsor because he's pretty much our only sponsor.
Well,
he has like 6 businesses that all sponsor our show.
Yeah.
The train is...
Yeah, I got to just listen for a second and stop. I got to still my beating heart.
Can't see it.
Still.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's always the same train.
It just makes me feel like there's hope when I hear the train whistle. I just feel like there's hope.
Yeah, train's been derailing more often lately.
Stop.
Makes me upset. It's like, is nothing sacred? Like, I don't like to fly because people get sucked into engines and they crash. I don't like to fly.
I
don't really want to go on ships because, like, they hit icebergs and sink, and now the trains have to go and derail. Like, is there any way to go around the Earth?
You just have, I figured this out. You just go on slow trains. You don't go on the big fast ones. You go on the ones that have to stop all the time because they go a lot slower. So they stay at like 45, 50 miles an hour. So you drive to New Haven, you get on the train there, on the local, and you won't go very fast, and you'll be able to enjoy a train ride.
I guess.
So that's something to do.
They don't go across oceans, though, and that's kind of a bummer. Like, how do you get other places?
Yeah, I don't know. God, you're making life so hard for me.
I'm sorry. I'm really discouraged by travel.
Well, that's good. I'm glad we're here because I'm going to just make us see a whole new panorama. Okay. So, and as part of that panorama...
Panorama.
Did I say that right?
No, it's a fine.
Okay, well, looking ahead to the landscape, I have a song that I've queued up, and this will be a guessing game of who is this artist.
Oh, great.
This is an artist as a young woman.
Is it you?
Shh. Oh, stop it.
I already know.
Here we go.
To tell you I've been racking my brain, trying to find a way out. I've had enough of this continual rain. Changes are coming, no doubt. It's been a too long time with no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. So lonesome at times. I have a dream that I wish I could live. It's burning holes in my mind. It's been a too long time with no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. It's been a too long time, no peace of mind, and I'm ready for the times to get better. Get better, to get
better. Okay.
That was nice.
Emily guessed correctly. That was me. That was a recording that we did in Burlington back in the 80s. I think Herb Lockwood was playing flute. Michael Oakland was on the guitar, and so was I. Crystal Gale, I think, wrote that song, perhaps.
Crystal Gale. I always liked that name.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about something that happened to you and me a couple weeks ago, but I don't want you to give away the punchline. Okay, you can support the story, but you know what happened.
You know I'm bad at this, but
I know.
I'll try.
Well, let's just see if you can hold yourself back. So we go to, we wanted to go out for lunch a couple weeks ago after the show. So we went.
What, you and me?
Yeah, we went to our usual spot.
Right.
And it was too crowded. I mean, there was nowhere to sit, and it was really noisy. So we looked around town. We thought, okay, well, let's go to this place. And so we sat down. I didn't tell this story, did I? No, because it happened last time. So we sit down and we look, we're looking at the menus, and then the owner comes out to take the order. And so, of course, everybody knows I'm a vegetarian, so my options are always kind of limited at these restaurants. And so I looked at the owner and I said, well, how about just a grilled cheese with tomato? And I got this kind of response of total disgust.
I thought he was like joking for a minute because he was so kind of
he shamed me.
It was weird. You know how sometimes you ask for something and somebody goes, "No, you can't have that," and then they wait for you to look shocked and then they laugh. Like I thought he was going to do that because he was so, "No, you can't have that." Like, he totally said, no, you can't have that.
I know. And then he started saying how the chefs couldn't possibly, how could I, even think that the chefs could pull that off during what? There was nobody in the restaurant, right?
Yeah,
there was one other table.
Us and a couple tables, yeah.
And so I just kind of, pulled back my energy and didn't respond. So I quickly looked down. But, these restaurants, they have all these fancy things. Like they have, Chipotle wraps with artisanal asparagus and all this stuff, which I just want like something simple, like a sandwich or a bowl of rice with beans on it. Like that would make me happy. So that's why I was trying to shoot for something in that category.
Right.
But it really, it didn't work. And now I feel like I can never go back there because I did that.
You didn't do that. He did that. That's our problem. We've got to switch the focus of the person who's in the wrong to always being not ourselves.
But
you immediately felt ashamed that you asked for something that wasn't exactly on the menu, which it kind of actually, all the parts of it were on the menu.
There was cheese there.
You just like,
I know they had tomatoes.
You don't need to feel ashamed.
They had bread.
Somebody was rude to you.
And I was even willing to have it cooked on the meat grill.
I know.
Like I was stretching.
Yeah, that's like a lot of it. Most vegetarians don't let that happen.
Yeah, this is why, we should just eat at home.
I know.
You can't get a good grilled cheese.
Yeah, that was troubling.
Okay. That's all. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you to our sponsor who treated me like a piece of discarded tissue.
They are our sponsors.
So that was just a brief incident in the life of.
We're not supposed to say good things about our sponsors, Kristina, but I don't think that they meant that we should say bad things about them.
I just think truth is important. I think that guy was just having a really bad day or something. Maybe he meant to make that a joke and it turned out to just rude instead. You know what I thought? I thought he didn't like our type. Like I've spent so much of my life with people like looking at me and going, and just I know what's going through their head. They're like, I don't like that kind of girl. It's that I don't like that kind of girl.
Yeah, I get that feeling too.
Yeah, like you just like whether it's my clothing, it's usually my clothing, or
you're wearing too much of it. That's the problem.
That's it. And I don't brush my hair.
Your hair is very obviously brushed right now. I had
to brush it because the realtor came over, so I brushed it. I just,
you think they won't sell your house if you brush your hair?
When you reach back and you have like felt on the back of your head, we talked about this before. I mean, I don't really.
You've never had felt on the back of your head?
I've had clots.
Well, whatever.
I've had mats. But who cares? Who cares if you live by yourself? You don't care if you never brush your hair.
I haven't washed my hair.
I do brush my teeth.
Really long time.
Well, I just feel like I don't want to offend my cats with bad breath.
You think cats?
So I do brush my teeth every day. They might, in the case that they do, possibly.
We had a sheep who just like loved my breath. All it would do would just be like close its eyes and like sniff anytime I had my mouth near it, and it would go for my mouth. Like it would. So I eat a lot of cheese, so I think it must have been like a dairy smell that it liked. I guess.
Right.
John says I smell like cheese all over, like all of me.
I probably smell like
my
nuts.
skin smells like cheese.
I eat so many nuts every day. I'm a nut eater.
That's gross. I think
I didn't say that.
I just
walnuts.
Are they cooked? I hope they're not cooked, Kristina.
No, I don't cook nuts.
Hey,
come on.
I'm just saying.
Could you say that to my face?
There's a line.
Look at me.
You can eat a lot of nuts, but don't you dare cook them. That's wrong.
I used to have to eat rice pilaf because my grandfather, he's Greek. And so we would have this rice pilaf sometimes, and it had raisins in it. And
my God.
And it had cooked nuts. And I was little, like I was like 5 years old, and I remember just like being nauseated by the smell of like, I don't know, what is it, nutmeg and raisins and cooked nuts and rice. I just didn't like it.
That's disgusting.
But I'd eat it now. I would definitely eat it and a grilled cheese in the same sitting.
As long as you put feta in it.
Feta's?
I don't like... okay, all right. If the nuts are going to be cooked a little, they can be toasted a tiny bit, like in a salad.
Is different. That's okay.
Is different.
You're talking about where they become more moist.
Yeah, that's
not
bloated.
Right.
When you bloat a nut,
because in nature, nuts do not get really warm like that with moisture. We don't steam nuts.
We shouldn't steam nuts. People who put nuts in cookies and brownies, just like.
Well, that's okay.
There's a special place in hell waiting for them.
Yeah.
There is.
Next to people who didn't vote for Hillary Clinton.
And you know what's also worse?
What?
When you think you're going to eat an oatmeal cookie and you think it has chocolate chips in it, and it's not. It's bloated up old raisins.
Some people like that.
I don't know. Raisins are like the devil's chocolate chips. You don't put them in things.
No, I had
Stop. What? Why? This is like, I like piglets, but I don't like grown pigs. And I like grapes, but I don't like raisins.
I made the mistake of giving somebody a chocolate chip cookie the other day, and I thought they would prefer it. I thought they would prefer it instead of the oatmeal raisin that I had. I just bought some cookies for people. And I found out later that they liked the oatmeal raisin. So as they left, I'm sorry to be so pushy about this.
They threw it at you. They just said,
"No." As they
Screw
left,
you and your stupid chocolate chip cookies. No, we want to eat.
No, I noticed he actually left it on the plate, and so I gave him the oatmeal raisin as he left out the door.
Wow,
this is Pooh Sprague. Just for anybody who needs to know about that, he prefers the oatmeal raisin. But he did a good bass part, so that was good. Anyway, I know I'm just pushing my agenda here.
No, it's not all nice. Right. It's okay.
I'll shut up. What do you have to say?
I don't know. I'm going to look at my list of nothingness that I did.
We could talk about recycled dolls' heads.
If anybody has any, I'll take them for...
Do you slice the top off? Because that's where it's at right now. Is you cut the top off of the skull.
I just put them in our stockpile for the haunted trail.
Yes, but this is like a spring thing where you cut the top off and then you use it as a planter. I saw this Dixie.
Oh, like a chia pet, and you grow its hair back to screen. Huh? Mm-hmm. Do you push its eyeballs out too, or do you leave those in?
That's up to you. That's like creative license. You could do what you wish.
Okay.
And I found a new term that's very useful. You know PTSD, right?
Oh yeah.
Post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah.
Well, there's something that's very relevant that's similar, but it's different. It's got a nice twist to it, and it's called post-traumatic embitterment syndrome.
Oh,
what do you think about that?
That sounds like what we all have,
so that's
too.
PTES.
Huh. Yeah. We had to go to a military museum yesterday, which
you did?
I hate. I kind of vaguely remember this.
That's why I see the connection. Mm-hmm.
Like, I was kind of healthy enough that I said, all right, let's do something this week, because it was my kids' vacation. We did nothing because I was sick and miserable, and they were kind of sick too. I mean, they don't have the flu, but they had colds, and it was crappy, and all of our plans were destroyed.
You went to the skate park.
Yeah, so we decided, let's go to Burlington and do something yesterday. So we went to an indoor skate park because my kids like that stuff. And while we were there, we went to some horrible military museum.
Where's that?
I don't know. Winooski? I don't know where it is. It's like up there. It's like the Vermont National Guard Museum or something. I don't think anybody's ever gone to this museum ever in the history of anybody, because like the old veteran dude that was running it seemed shocked and surprised that we were there.
Good for you.
No, it was horrible. I hate military things.
But I'm glad you saw that guy. He needed to be cheered up.
I guess.
That's why you went.
And then, like, I just don't really care for war, so a museum about it is really not up my alley. Plus, I was kind of not really with it, so I sat in an ejector seat. I think that's what it's called. It was on display there. I just sort of sat there in the ejector seat while my children and John looked around at the war things.
And how long did you stay there?
Not too long, because I started to like moan after a while.
Oh, yeah.
But
okay.
I just don't care for museums that are like full of like old shells that have been turned into lamps and things.
Well, I suppose if you're kind of in the right mode, you could contemplate on that and look like even just sitting and being that close to these devices that are used for killing. You could meditate on the, on the soul of the human and how that relates to the degeneration of our sort of spiritual, status.
It's weird because John and my kids don't really like military or war stuff either, but yet they are fascinated by these apparatuses and things, tanks and I don't know. I don't like them.
I know.
There was at least some Civil War stuff there, so it felt
it tells a story.
I don't count the Civil War as like a war. I mean, I know it was one, obviously, and a really big one, but like it seemed a little more sporting. If anything, where you kill other people is considered sporting. Why does everyone think that if the government comes to get our guns, that they're literally going to come to your door like they're troops and get your guns?
Well, there's a lot of distrust of the government, which is actually justified.
Right. But like all the gun nuts think that if the government is going to go crazy on you and like be this dictatorship, which it already is, like that they're actually gonna come to your house, like troops and soldiers are gonna come to your house to confiscate your weapons. Does anyone understand that's not how like war things work? They're not gonna do that. If the government wants to get you, they're not gonna come to your house. They're just gonna drop a chemical or something on you from the sky. Like,
right.
There's no amount of guns that can save you from a corrupt government.
Right, but somehow people still feel like if, they're packing a pistol, they've at least got a fighting chance at the end.
Like, against, like, chemical or, like...
It's more psychological. It's more emotional that, you can't take this away from me. You can't overpower me. And that way, by sort of I'm
just kind of mystified by that.
Disabling my
They could
weaponry.
They could electronically shut us all down in, like, 4 seconds.
Yeah, I think
that would kill us
I'm sort of playing devil's advocate because I definitely agree with you that it's not going to help anything to keep weapons really, but I think then the question is, well, what is going to help? Like, where's the true empowerment going to come from? And that's like there's a very different angle that...
Yeah, there's no real answer at the moment. It's all very screwy, but anyway, I was just thinking about it a little bit in that military museum.
Yeah, I think we could sort of. Yeah. Okay. I have probably more to say than you want to hear because it kind of verges on astrology.
No, it was cool though. This thing that they had there from probably, I don't know if it was from the Civil War or not. It was a wagon that the whole entire wagon was a giant stove. Like it was a little cast iron wagon, and horses pulled it, and then it had like built-in big pots for soup, and like you just fill the bottom of the wagon with wood, and like you just drag it onto the battlefield.
Wow,
it was
you
like
could take it camping.
It was the coolest thing.
I wonder why people haven't made that for like to be pulled behind.
It was like a chuck
goat
wagon, but not it was like the whole thing was a giant stove, and the oxens pull it.
I would get a goat just to pull that and
you
go
couldn't
camping.
Pull it with a goat. It was big. Like you need.
Well,
like,
you could downsize it and make like a traveling kitchen. I'd like to be a tinker. That would be my perfect job. I think a tinker, but they don't really have that job anymore.
No, they don't.
Oh, well.
Nobody needs you to come door to door selling them a muffin pin.
No, but I'd love that.
Yeah, that would be
so
fun.
much fun. And I'd have a nice little, I would have some goats that would follow me on ropes.
Why do you like goats? You don't have goats.
I like the idea of goats.
You don't. You wouldn't like them if you had them.
Well, I would if I had like some other people living with me who really like them.
I am anti-goat.
You don't need more animals, and that's
clear.
I'm
not meaning to get real political here on air, but I am anti-goat.
Okay. And
I want everyone to know that they can stop sending me. Sorry, I'm probably still delirious and very intolerant right now.
And you've said this so many times.
They want people to stop sending me YouTube videos of goats.
People are not trying to. They're
upsetting. They're upsetting to me.
You're getting a little paranoid about this.
They think goats and sheep are the same thing. I like sheep. I don't like goats.
You think that goat owners are out to get you, and they're not.
Fine, but there's something. There's something going on.
All right, let's go to the next song. Bebop in Pastel. Here it is.
Who names songs?
That was Will Patton, another Vermont musician.
I apologize for saying he can't. His song name was dumb.
It's okay. I think he'll probably get over it. Musicians have to have pretty thick skins.
Well, he should just know that I'm feeling very intolerant and cranky. So
Yeah.
So,
you either have a thick skin.
His artsy song name is not impressing me right now.
Yeah. Yeah. If you don't have a thick skin, you got to just quit stuff. Really, if you can't take it, you got to quit. And then if you quit, and then you miss it enough, you go back to it, and then your skin just gets a little thicker. And it's this lifelong process of becoming a rhinoceros in the end. It's like a psychological rhinoceros.
I like rhinoceroses. I think that they are just like overweight unicorns.
No, I had never thought of them that way, but I kind of like that.
Although I'm really sad because like the only last remaining like white rhinoceri died recently in captivity, and now they're all extinct or whatever.
I know. That didn't make our life better.
No.
What could? What would you do? Like if you had tons of money, what would you do first? What would be the first thing you would do?
Other than just pay all my bills?
Yeah. What would it give you the freedom to do, supposedly?
I just wouldn't work for a little while.
And do
I
what?
would just take a little vacation.
What would you do?
I would go someplace. I just want to go places sometimes.
Where would you go?
I don't care. Like any place that I haven't been. Sometimes, even though I swear I love Vermont more than anybody I know loves Vermont. Like I just love it here. And I love most everything that it represents. And I've never been, even when I was a teenager, I've never been one of those, I want to get out of here. I can't wait to leave here. This place sucks. Like I was never like that ever. I always thought, this is my home. This is where I belong. But it's still, I think it's just winters like this one where I'm like, I want to go someplace I've never been so badly. Just not permanently. I just want to see things. I feel like I've lost appreciation for this place this winter just because it's been kind of crummy. Not just Vermont's fault.
It started to get crummy in February,
and
I think.
So
I thought it was going great up until February.
Rejuvenate my appreciation of it, and I often do that by seeing other things.
Well, okay, if we make some money, and we can take a vacation, let's go to northern Canada. That's where I want to go. I want to go to northern Canada.
Yeah,
like really, I'd just like to go really up there for a long time.
There's
and
a lot
see
of
a bunch of
mosquitoes
stuff
there.
Well, let's try to plan it around that so we don't. I mean, a little bit of mosquitoes is okay, but not a lot. So that's what I would do. I would go north, and I would spend time by the sea or the Henry Hudson areas.
Yeah, I want the
ocean.
ocean.
Where Henry Hudson was?
No, but
where salmon go up there.
Oh. Because I just want the ocean.
Yeah, I want to write. I just want to write about stuff up there. I just want to think
about.
I want to go up there and I want to think about life. And I want to.
I also want to see the Grand Canyon. I've never seen the Grand Canyon ever. Isn't that weird?
I think that's okay. I just am not so. I've never been that attracted to the Grand Canyon. I'm not sure why.
I want to go to that national park where all the little cliff dwellings are.
Oh yeah,
Mesa Verde. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that stuff because some of it's gotten so commercialized. I mean, even though it's a national park, it's just there's so many people there. I guess you just have to go on the off season where it's a little quieter.
Yeah, there's places I don't want to go that everybody wants to go. Like, and I've kind of been there, and I just don't really like everybody wants to go to like Paris. I don't want to go to Paris. I've been to Paris, and I didn't really care. What I saw of places like that are exactly like what you can see if you just look online. I want to go no, I mean it. Like, it's just a city. It's just a city.
Right.
It's not there are a few things that are kind of cool, like, so you can be like, oh, I've seen the Eiffel Tower or whatever, but like, it's really not any different than other cities.
Well, it might be different if you could speak French. I mean, sometimes I have this problem is that I don't interact easily with strangers, and especially strangers who don't speak my language. And so I just get super, super awkward. I don't know how to deal with that, except money. Having money helps you to not deal with it. So if you need to go hide in a hotel, for example, because you're freaking out because you can't communicate with anybody, you can go, you can recuperate, you can take care of yourself, and relax. And then when you get sort of summon your powers again, you can go back out and try to tackle it. But when you don't have a lot of money, you're sort of at the mercy of strangers. Yeah. And that can be a good thing if you're super gregarious and you've got skills in that department.
I just don't. I don't like cities. I don't care how beautiful the city is. I'm not really that interested in metropolitan tourism.
I always felt like, I remember saying when I was in my 20s that I would, I did this kind of backpacking. I wasn't really backpacking, but I was traveling around with a rucksack basically in certain parts of Europe. And I really was not that successful at it. And I felt when I came home, like I am not doing that.
That's such a cliche. You did not really go backpacking around Europe. That's horrible.
No, I didn't. I just went to a few places and I just to see if I could do it. And I kind of flunked. And I had a job for a while in Sweden and I couldn't speak the language, but I came back and I said, okay, you're not doing that again unless you go back as a musician. If you go back with something to do and a way to connect with people, that might work better.
Yeah.
So that was
I just don't want to travel to connect with people. I want to travel to see natural things, I guess.
Yeah, I think me too at this point.
When I think of vacation,
I like people here a lot.
Don't think of connection. I think of getting away from connection.
Well, yeah, I think there's so much people here. There's so much depth of people here in all kinds of ways that we could mine. There's no need to go anywhere else to try to do that.
I'm just so entangled in my life here and all the people that are involved in it. And every 5 minutes, what I like the most about being away from here is that nobody asks me to do anything. Every single day there's 20 messages on my machine or on my email with just people wanting favors, and I'm all about favors. I love favors. I want to do favors for people and I want people to do favors for me, but it just feels like I'm so tangled up in things that people need and want from me here, and that's why I like going places where that isn't a worry. I don't have. Well, there's no expectations.
Yeah, that's a way to create a boundary to actually physically leave a place, but you could also just learn to deal with your boundary issues.
I can't though, because I am so afraid that if I don't do things for people, nobody will like me just for myself.
Okay,
I think the only reason people like me is because I do things for them. Mm. And I think that is true, Kristina. I think if I stopped doing things for people, I think people would not like me real quickly.
I like you because you do things with me, not for me.
Yeah.
Because we have play dates.
Yeah.
That's different.
No, that's different.
So you have friends that you have play dates with.
Yeah.
Fridays at 11.
Right. Mm-hmm. But I also have just a huge amount of people who kind of look to me for things, and sometimes that doesn't feel like friendships.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person who always has the extra skates and the extra things that everybody needs to call and borrow things from.
Yeah,
it's complicated.
It's partly having kids, and it's partly just that you do have some boundary issues. That
I definitely do.
Yeah, I could definitely. Yeah.
Sorry, have run out of.
She looks.
I'm just staring out the window.
I know. Yeah, so I did get computer glasses, which I love.
Oh, are they kind of yellowy? I like those.
Yes,
I saw a picture of you on Instagram. And you looked super hip.
But do you know why?
And I don't mean hipster. I just mean hip.
Yeah, you know why they're yellow?
Because they make you happy.
No.
Are they combat eye fatigue from looking at a computer?
They block blue light.
Oh,
which is and I'm very, very pleased with them because I used to get super fatigued because in the recording studio I have to work with a computer screen that's huge and I'm sitting there for hours and hours and hours, and it would just get so that every time I looked over there it would be like an assault on my eyes, and I think it actually does damage your retina. So I would recommend to anybody to get these computer glasses that are yellow because they block that blue light.
That's awesome.
And then you can sit there and feel like, oh.
There's something about warm shades that must be good for you. I used to love back when I was in the darkroom a lot. The red light in the darkroom was so soothing to me. I just loved it. I could go in there and spend all day and just feel really just calm in the red light.
And darkness.
Yeah, it was my little cocoon, and I could waste hours and hours and hours and hours just putting away on my projects and not ever feel frustrated about how long it was taking. Like,
yeah,
time would be suspended in the little red room.
I associate the dark room with my dad because he had a dark room, and so we used to hang out. I used to hang out, it was either in the dark room next to my dad or I was on the piano bench with my dad. Those were sort of our two places.
That's nice.
So those chemicals, like the stop bath in a dark room, it's so smelly. It's it's so toxic. And he died of Parkinson's. It kind of made us all wonder if it had anything to do with that.
My mom was really worried for a while because her dad died of leukemia, and he was a professional photographer as well and spent a lot of time in his darkroom. And so she was convinced that my being in the chemicals was bad. I had a fan, though. I don't know. I don't think the chemicals were...
Well...
I wasn't like drinking them or bathing in them. I had tongs.
You didn't spend that much time in there.
I did.
We got a nice message here on my phone that says, our house smells like sassafras. It is amazing. That must be from Tina. I bet it's from Tina. Let's see. I should come up with her name.
I can't think of what sassafras smells like right now. Is it like ginger?
I think she was going to send some sassafras to you because that's going to make your life better. Sassafras is going to make see these simple things like having a nice smell in the house. It can shift your whole mood. It's amazing.
I know. I'm not usually this cranky. I feel bad. I'm like,
you're not bad.
I'm just getting all these steroids and things out of my body now, and they made me angry.
Well, I think aromatherapy is what you need now. So you should get some nice essences of things that smell good.
I'm a little scared because a bunch of my friends do those oils, the essential oils. But then I've read stuff about them being really, really bad for animals to have them in your house.
What do you mean do them? What do they do?
They stick them in like a little diffuser thing that looks like a little, looks like a raindrop or a vagina. I don't know. You just put it in there and it like blows it around.
Did you say it looks like a vagina?
Yes, they come in different shapes. Okay. And there's one that very clearly resembles a vagina, and I'm not really sure why.
Okay.
That would be. It might be supposed to be a rose.
It's like looking at ink blots, and what do you see?
It's like George O'Keeffe.
Right.
Everything is a vagina.
Yeah, I'm not worried about animals smelling like petunias.
No, I'm not saying that the petunia smells. I think some of those essential oils are really strong things that are maybe bad for
we'll check that
animals.
We'll check that out. We'll check that out, and then we have to go.
I think tea tree oil is poison for cats.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah,
we have to end the show. It's like
you sure?
It's almost over.
Let me see.
Come to our podcast. Get our podcast on
11thhourradio.com.
Your Apple iPhone podcast. Get us there. And you'll get this last song that I'm going to play is actually going to be on that podcast, but it's going to be cut off here because we're terrible DJs.
No, we're
still slacker DJs.
My phone says you still have a whole minute. You could put.
No, we got like 45 seconds.
Right.
What do you want to say?
I don't want to say anything.
Yes, you do. You want to say thank you to everybody who tolerated you.
Sorry.
Stop doing that.
I don't know how to make my phone
stop. So we are 11th Hour Radio.
Yeah, and we'll be back probably a little more coherent next Friday, I would assume.
I doubt it.
I'm going to really try, Kristina.
I'm not.
Okay, well, you already were kind of coherent.
Okay.
Play the song.
All right.
Bye, you guys.
See you next week.
Don't let it get to you, loss unknown. Accumulation taking hold. What's done, who's left? What's enough and who's up next? Bound chain. Don't let it get to you all alone. Late nights, phones blown. Looking back, creeping sense. Pump house whores, discouraging bound chain. Don't let it get to you, pulling hate. Tearing down, accelerating rates. One is the lonely, no room for two. Nobody talking now and gotta learn new rules, bound chain. Don't let it get to you, all the doubt, catching up or even what it's all about. Find yourself defending melodrama endings, the permanent critic, he's the rascal just pretending. Bound chain, bound chain, bound chain fetter. Don't let it get to you what you never. Just because you didn't doesn't mean forever. Out of fashion, trains left. Years piling up and all of the regret. Bound chain. Don't let it get to you, drag you down, hold you back or hanging on a rebound. No harmonizing, late realizing, time's a wasting and getting hard to find it. Bound chain, bound chain, bound chain fetter. Bound chain, bound chain, bound chain fetter. Don't let it get to you, imagination bones. All art is failure, especially if you don't. Wanting more, who's best? Nothing done, reject, who's wrong? Process always suspect. Bound chain. So don't let it get to you for what it's worth. Adding up and counting shouldn't come up with hurting. Bitterness, envy, what you recommending. Never ever meant to, still obsessions never ending. Bound chain, bound chain, bound chain fetter. Bound chain, bound chain, bound chain